Hey guys, I just wanted to take a moment here. I was sitting down to write a couple songs and stuff for the new album, and I got to thinking about what qualities do I personally favor in an album. I got to thinking about some of my personal favorite albums and why I really like those albums. And one of the things that came to mind was the Blonde on Blonde album by Bob Dylan. Absolutely love this album, and it's been one of my favorites since I was a teenager. And I got to thinking about it. What is it that makes this album so great? What is it that sets this apart from the rest of his catalog? I got to thinking, so I pulled up some of the album and started listening to it, and I got back to thinking about some of the emotional complexity of the songs, and not all of the songs are incredibly gorgeous. They're not, especially they're like, talk about the first song here for a second. It's Rainy Day Women. You've got that clash, that backing marching band that kind of clashes with the vocals there, and then Dylan constantly laughing throughout the lyrics, trying to have a hard time keeping a straight face. And with him and the other band members laughing and kind of cutting up, and you get this whole kind of loose feel, as if there's a joke that we're being left out of. The audience kind of gets this alienation feel that we're not, we're kind of being left out of their group. I think that kind of the imagery there in the song of the verbal stones that were hurled on stage at the Newport Folk Festival, and I think he's kind of, it's one of the ways that he was kind of backlashing out, and that's just my personal, that's probably not at all what he originally meant it to be, but that's kind of how I take it. Second song is probably one of my more favorite songs. It's called Pledging My Time, and it's definitely got this attitude kind of thing to it, and with Mike Bloomfield on guitar, you kind of get this cosmic blues, electric blues feel with the and that coupled with Dylan's tone. He takes kind of this superior tone, kind of this almost a condescending thing, and you kind of get this otherworldly cosmic blues feel, but then coupled with his harmonica and the way he's playing there, it kind of brings it back from the cusp there just a little bit. And you kind of get like this kind of angry kind of feel, but almost as if he's angry and going to blow you off. This next song is actually one of my favorites on the album, Visions of Johanna, and I think it's this song here that led me to the album in the first place. But at first glance, it's got that folky and simple feel with the guitar and the harmonica coming in, and then the drums and everything. And you listen to it, and the song, you almost get to feel like Dylan's going to start crying. It's got no small amount of emotional vulnerability there. I know one of the earlier takes, he sounds a little bit more angry, but this particular one, it's kind of got a certain amount of sadness to it. But then as you kind of start listening to, the rest of the song and it builds, you've got this kind of a groovy relationship between the bass and the drums. It's got kind of a groovy feel, makes you kind of want to dance and a little bit. But where was I? Oh yeah, and then over that you've got the electric guitar part. Once again, Mike Bloomfield on guitar, great guitarist. He's playing these short staccato bluesy licks with a couple bends and stuff here and there. But it's almost got kind of a B.B. King feel. You know, he'll play one note or two here, and it's a very emotional, very expressive playing style. But it's kind of got this snappy kind of a bite to it almost. And you kind of get like in the lyrics, you know, even the song, these visions of Johanna. You know, he's constantly singing about, you know, I'm with these people, I'm doing these things, and I'm in the middle of doing this, but these visions of Johanna, and you start to get the feel that he's got this nostalgia for this past relationship or this woman that he knew, and even in the song he starts singing about some of the other women. You know, like Louise, she's all right, she's just near. And then a line or two later it goes on to say, but these visions of Johanna, they've conquered my mind, they've kind of taken over, it's all I can think about. It's definitely some nostalgic sadness there. It's definitely emotionally complex. And there's definitely more to this song than initially meets the eye. You'll definitely have to listen to it more than a couple times to really get the full effect. Coming in at number 4, this one has kind of a confessional tone to it, but even in this, we can still see Dylan kind of trying to distance himself from the relationship. To not. One of the things that I love about Dylan is that he can be emotionally vulnerable while trying not to be emotionally vulnerable. And there's something uniquely human in that. I think that when any of us are going through, you know, these tough relational issues, which the album kind of focuses on, you know, some of the songs having different aspects of these different relational issues that you might have, and I think there's something uniquely human that we all kind of face, in that whenever we're emotionally vulnerable, we'll do anything to not be emotionally vulnerable, and that's one of the things that he really captures and hits home in this song. He kind of shirks the responsibility of, you know, ending the relationship in the line that, you know, sooner or later one of us must know, you know, must know that it's coming to an end. And it's interesting. It's definitely, these songs are why this is my favorite album. And the next one, I definitely get this feel having, the song's called I Want You, and it's song number 5, and to me it captures all the beauty and the passion and the struggles and the obstacles that you might face falling in love for the first time. And, you know, as the lyrics go on, it starts to appear, and then you kind of see the tonality of the instrumentation kind of start to fall with the verses. They kind of come down in tone a little bit, and as the verses go on, he'll start singing about all these obstacles, but he reconciles it in the chorus in a very newlywed kind of fashion, in the way that most newlyweds would solve their struggles and obstacles, and just say, I want you, you know, I want you, I want all of you, and I want this is, you know, I'm willing to, you know, and it's kind of the same way that a lot of newlyweds would kind of get over, or at least in my experience, kind of get over some of their initial obstacles that they might face. It's that mentality of, you know, I want you, and that's all that matters. Definitely kind of Yeah, definitely kind of that newlywed feel. 6 is another one of, good gracious. It was 3, 5, and 6, I think, are my 3 favorite songs on this album. Stuck Inside a Mobile has the feel. The verses go on and talk about all of these strange oddities that he's seeing and all of these crazy people that he's running into. And you get the feel that it's might be some of the misadventures and craziness that you might encounter on the road, on a tour. And definitely just some of the... He finds himself in some very weird scenarios. And in the chorus, it goes to a minor chord and then walking slowly back down to the root. It kind of captures the fear and wandering of, will I ever make it home again? That's mirrored in the chorus that says, oh mama, can this really be the end? To be stuck inside a mobile with the Memphis Blues again. And that line, stuck inside a mobile, it kind of got a double meaning there, in that he could be saying that I'm stuck in Mobile. I'm stuck in Mobile, Alabama, with the Memphis Blues again. I want to be in Memphis, Tennessee, or Memphis, Georgia, and I can't get back there. But also, if you think about what a mobile is, it's something that spins, and it spins indefinitely. But the electric mobiles will spin indefinitely when you turn them on. And the idea is that this tour just kind of spins indefinitely, and he doesn't know just when he's going to get home, and it captures all the fear and the longing and the emotionality of being away from home for any length of time, being going on a journey like that, kind of like the Iliad or the Odyssey. It definitely kind of captures that feel, and I think I've actually heard it compared to the Odyssey before. This next song, Leopardskin Pillbox Hat, it has that typical cosmic blues that you kind of associate with that 1965 Bob Dylan. And even now, he still has a lot of that bluesy tonality that he still uses even today. But the simplicity of the guitar with the crazy guitar licks that Mike Bloomfield's doing in the background over the crazy lyrics that he's got going here, it seems to poke fun at your typical musical and societal and fashion conventions. One of the popular things back then was the little pillbox hat that women wore, and it seems to kind of make fun of that, both lyrically and melodically. Okay, another one of my favorite songs on here, number 8, Just Like a Woman. And this freaking song here, it's one of my favorites on the album because, like the other songs, it captures the emotional complexity of being vulnerable, of being in that scenario, in that relationship. And in this, you see him putting up this facade of being of being misogynistic, and that's mirrored in the title of the song, Just Like a Woman. It's got that kind of misogynistic feel. But if you listen to it, you realize that this is really a facade. This isn't really how he feels. He's saying some of these things so that he can emotionally distance himself from the relationship, so that he can kind of make himself out to be the bad guy, so that it won't be as difficult to leave this relationship. And it's, once you kind of see through that, it's easy to see that all of these things are coming from a broken heart. You know, it's these things that he's saying. It's not really. He doesn't really feel this way about all women. He just feels this. He has a broken heart. You know, this one woman here, and in the bridge of the song, you know, he kind of goes back to when they met, and it's kind of got that nostalgic feel to it, which, you know, I kind of like that in a lot of his other songs here. I think in this song that we find an emotional depth that anybody who's ever had a broken heart can kind of relate to. It's pretty deep. It's fantastic. I'm going to skip a couple here and go to... So, Temporary Like Achilles. I want to talk about this one. This one seems to be kind of the oddball out of the bunch here, but it doesn't necessarily stick out. It still kind of fits in. It's got kind of a ragtime blues. It's something you might expect to find in like a Western saloon, you know. It's got kind of that feeling of, you know, you come home and you've been married for 30 years, and you know you're kind of arguing a little bit, but it's playful. You know, you come home after a hard day's of work, and you're just kind of sitting there and kind of arguing a little bit, and just it's got that playful feel. But that's what you know. It's part of the reason why he got the nickname, you know, the Jester or Joker Man. Is he has that playful feel to him. He's definitely got a sense of humor in a lot of aspects, and it's something that seems to be his sense of humor seems to be almost cathartic too, also, because there is a kind of sadness to it. And so, where was I? So, with the bridge of this song, it goes to a minor tonality that has an almost kind of a 20s jazz feel. It kind of changes things up, but at the same time, it flows easily, goes right in. And the lyrics in this, one of the, I think, the repeat part of the song, he says, why are you so hard? Why are you so hard to deal with? You know, and you kind of get that feel that, you know, that playful, argumentative thing that people who've been in a relationship for a long time seem to get. I'm going to skip that one and go to... Okay, well, I don't have any notes on this one, but I'm going to skip a few and go to one of my other favorite songs on the album, Sad-Eyed Lady of the Lowlands. I think this song really pairs well with Visions of Johanna, because it's definitely, it's a lot more sad though. It's definitely come to the realization that everything's kind of coming to a close. I don't have any notes on this, so I'm just kind of freeballing it. But he definitely has kind of this sadness there. You almost get the feeling that he's gonna wipe her eyes when she starts crying, and he's gonna hug her, and it's like, you know, everything's gonna be okay, but it's gonna be over. It's gonna be, you know, oh, sad-eyed lady of the lowlands. It's coming to the realization that things need to come to a close, that things need to kind of get that closure there. And I think that's really why I like this album, is because I don't think I'm going to talk about any of the songs. I think I'm just going to wrap it up here. We're getting on to 20 minutes, so. But I think that's really why I like this album, is because the emotionality of it. it captures so many emotional complexities throughout each of the songs. You've got all the joy, all the sadness, everything it means to be human captured in this, and there's not a lot of EQ done on it. It's, you get this uniquely raw tone. That's one of the things that I love about Dylan. This uniquely raw and stripped down tone, while capturing the musical complexity of, in songs like Visions of Johanna, with that bass beat that's kind of hidden there in the background. But anyways, I just wanted to talk about that, and you guys got any questions? Leave them down in the comments. Hit the like button, hit subscribe, go on Facebook, like us, and rock out, guys. Peace.